So good morning. This is St. Andrews in Winthrop. We're on our Tuesday morning meditation, Tuesday, July 7th, with Bill Nave.
Good morning, everyone. And this is my hip pocket meditation for the day from my daily readings from the Rule of Benedict, Joan Chittester, who's a member of a Oblate Sisters of Benedict. And one of the readings for April 4th, the day after my birthday, I have found particularly instructive over the years, and that's why I selected it as my hip pocket backup in case our normal presenter couldn't be here. It's chapter 53 from the Rule of Benedict, Reception of Guests. So first two paragraphs, this is from Benedict. All guests who present themselves are to be welcomed as Christ, who said, "I was a stranger and you welcomed me." Proper honor must be shown to all, especially to those who share our faith and to pilgrims. Once guests have been announced, the priorists are added, and the community are to meet them with all the courtesy of love. First of all, they are to pray together and thus be united in peace, but prayer must always precede the kiss of peace because of the delusions of the devil. So now is Joan's commentary on that. Stereotypes come hard in the Benedictine tradition. Is this a spirituality that centers on prayer or work? Does it recommend fleeing the world or embracing it? Does it set out to create a world unto itself or to leaven the wider world? The difficulty with understanding Benedictine spirituality comes in reading some sections of the rule without reading the entire document. The fact is that Benedictine spirituality is not based on dualism, the notion that things of the world are bad for us and things of the spirit are good, and the creature comforts of a bed with bedding are also necessary. The rule is for everyone, including the abbot or prioress, and yet everyone is a potential exception to it. In this chapter on guests and hospitality, the holism out of which it emerges is startlingly plain. This is a monastery, and guests are to be received as Christ. Hospitality is one form of worship, the rabbis wrote. Benedictine spirituality takes this tendency seriously. The welcome at the door is not only loving, a telephone operator at a jail can do that, it is total as well. Both the community and the abbot receive the guest. The message to the stranger is, "Come right in and disturb our perfect lives. You are Christ for us today." And to assure us all, guest and monastic alike, that this hospitality is an act of God that we are undertaking, the community and the guest pray together first, and then extend the kiss of welcome so that it is understood that our welcome is not based on human measurements alone. "We like you, we're impressed with you. You look like our kind. You're clean and scrubbed and minty breathed and worthy of our attention." Hospitality even the neighbors into the sanctuary of our lives. Their children get sick, their parents die, and all we do is watch the comings and goings from behind heavy blinds. Benedict wants us to let down the barriers of our hearts so that this generation does not miss accompanying the innocent to Calvary as the last one did. Benedict wants us to let down the barriers of our souls so that the God of the unexpected can come in. That radical hospitality really characterized Joyce's entire life, and it's what she taught me over the years by way of radical acceptance of everyone I meet, whether for the first time or, as the commercial says, for the first time all over again. So the attitude of not thinking that a phone call, an email, a knock at the door is an interruption, but is an opportunity to welcome Christ again today, really helps me stay focused on being the kind of open, supporting kind of person that I try to be. So perhaps thoughts, feedback on that?
It's a beautiful thought. Yes, it is something to think about and to remember that knock at the door is so important, or that phone call, and to be open and welcoming to them and not consider it, an interruption. Thank you, Bill. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
I certainly get a lot of unexpected phone calls or even visits, although less so now that I'm more out in the country than I was when I was in Vermont or even on Old Orchard Beach. Usually it's when I'm not expecting it and I'm driving, I'm not driving when I'm answering the call. I might be riding. Jim's usually driving. And I have to there's a process that happens and I switch gears, like I try to just tune out whatever we're on our way to, or, whatever thoughts were occupying my mind, and I tune into, pastoral receptivity. There's definitely a process that happens there. I'm not always adept at it, I'll admit. I try, but, sometimes it actually surprises me. I'm not anticipating the call, and it's hard to immediately shift from I'm heading someplace to go do something to this person is really upset about something and I need to listen carefully. And it's really hard to shift gears like that. But I'm sure that you all do that too in a different way. It's just different now that I'm a priest.
Yeah.
So thanks for that reminder to pay attention to those. Sometimes I will admit, sometimes it feels like an interruption, but it's good to remember that. So thanks.
That's one reason I start each morning going through my 150-person prayer list, so that if there's a contact with one of those people that day, I'm pre-prepped for it, if you will. It was, and so I already have that person in my mind. Yeah.
Yes, I better pull up the St. Andrews list.
Well, a lot of your calls are not from St. Andrews there. They're from folks looking for.
Well, my comment about knock on the door is first impressions, and sometimes the first impression you really have to override. And it's not just a knock on the door, but it's any place that you meet somebody. Somebody in line who at this point isn't wearing a mask, and so you say to them specifically, please keep your distance, and they kind of growl at you.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to figure out which way you're going to react after that. So the knock on the door is important, and it's important to say hi, but you just have to feel which way you want to say hi sometimes.
Thank you. Tina?
What I was thinking about is I've read a lot of fiction based on Benedictine life and back as far as the 1100s and on up. And one of the positions, especially for the nuns, was there was one person who was in charge of the guest house and making sure there was food and beds and all the things that go along with basically running a bed and breakfast for people that would come, and how a lot of the lords and ladies would show up with their huge entourages, and the nuns really had to scramble to have enough food just to feed them, to give them the hospitality that, you know, they believed in giving, and not trying, you know, trying not to feel resentful, but once in a while they'd snip a little bit about it. So,
Mhm.
interesting.
Well,
For
thank
sure.
you. And thanks, Anne, for having a dentist appointment this morning so I could sneak in with this little reflection.
Absolutely. That was
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Thank you for stepping in, and for anybody else that's out there, some morning when you come on, I may say to you, oh, by the way, it's your turn because somebody didn't make it. We've all got hip pocket meditations waiting.
Fair
All right.
warning.
Well, thank you all and have a good morning.
God
Thank
bless you
And
all.
you
Bye.
also.
Thanks, Bill.